1 in 4 Americans experience mental illness within a given year, and 1 in 17 live with a serious mental illness. So, what is mental illness? According to the National Alliance of Mental Illness, or NAMI, a mental illness is a condition that disturbs thinking, feeling, mood, ability to relate to others, and daily functioning. Mental illnesses often result in a diminished capacity for coping with ordinary demands of life and can affect persons of any age, race, religion, or income. Mental illness is not a choice. People living with mental illness don't choose this illness more than people with cancer choose to have cancer. So, where are these patients? In state hospitals? In treatment centers? No. The answer is in our jails and prisons. According to NAMI, 66% of boys and 74% of girls in the juvenile justice system meet the diagnostic criteria for one or more mental illnesses. 450,000 Americans with a recent history of mental illness are incarcerated, and 24% of prisoners in state penitentiaries suffer from mental illness. To understand this, I will give a brief history of the placement of the mentally ill. Traditional asylums were nothing short of unlivable. They were filthy, overcrowded, and the patients were simply not treated as human beings. In one state institution, the women were not issued underwear because the staff thought they would lose them, which resulted in a less than desirable situation during menstruation. One reporter declared that the animals at the zoo were treated better than the patients in the mental institutions. When the public caught wave of these horrid conditions via press, the institution feared the Justice Department would force them to make repairs and cost them millions. As a result, many jumped on the deinstitutionalization bandwagon. In addition to the institution's conditions, they were also being sued by persons held against their will. Deinstitutionalization was the massive emptying of state wards. Between 1960 and 1980, the number of patients in state institutions plunged from more than 500,000 to less than 100,000. As a result, in the 1980s, the mentally ill began pouring into our jails and prisons. In the 1990s, the term transinstitutionalization was coined, meaning the transfer of the mentally ill from state hospitals into jails, mostly because the mentally ill had nowhere else to go. In June of 1981, a reporter from the New York Times stated, "The institutionalization has become a cruel embarrassment, a reform gone terribly wrong, threatening not only the former mental inmates, but also the quality of life of all New Yorkers. The mentally ill don't belong in prison. They should be treated, not punished." In Crazy, Pete Earley quoted a doctor saying, "By its very design, a jail is intended to dehumanize and humiliate a person. It's supposed to have a negative impact, to bring an inmate down, to make him not want to come back." He continued, "This sort of atmosphere is counter to treatment or helping to improve anyone's mental health." In these jails, the mentally ill prisoners are sent to special floors where the rooms are stripped of almost everything, leaving only a steel toilet, a metal bed frame, and a mattress, where the temperatures match the ones of outside during the winter season. The guards receive no extra training on how to handle these mentally ill inmates, and they're not being paid extra. And they believe that they're assigned to these places as punishment. The nurses, there's 1 to every 600 inmates. In prison, most mentally ill don't receive adequate treatment. According to NAMI, the cost of jail is $22,600 a year per inmate, in comparison to comprehensive mental illness treatment costing between $10,000 to $15,000. Sadly, parents, loved ones, and police officers see jail as a safe place for these patients and believe that they will receive help there. The opposite is true. In the book Crazy, A Father's Search Through America's Mental Health Madness, Pete Earley shares encounters of the mentally ill prisoners attempting and committing suicide, being brutally attacked by the guards, and entering and exiting the revolving door of hospitalization, incarceration, and homelessness. Earley concluded that in regards to mental health, we're moving backwards, not forward. Jail should be the last result, not the first. We lock the mentally ill up out of fear. He claims we have become indifferent, walked by homeless, ranting psychotics in our cities, and we soothe our conscience by convincing ourselves that they are choosing to live this way. They have become throwaway people. They are the butt of our jokes and an accepted part of our society and landscape. Rather than seeing them as human beings who are suffering from a serious brain disorder, who need medical attention, our laws defend the right to be crazy, as if having a chemical imbalance in your neurons is a choice. They are stuck in the revolving door. To the people suffering from mental illness and their loved ones, it is a cruel disease. They feel ashamed, and many end up dead or in prison. In conclusion, Earley says they should be taken to a secure hospital setting where they can receive medical treatment safely, not locked in jail cells that were designed to inflict punishment.